glance, professional wrestling is sharp and schlock. But it's more than that. It's professional athletes making precise moves. Moves, when badly executed, result in career-ending injuries, like it did for Bret Hart. Moves that require training, endurance, and skill, like the clothesline, sunset flip, and cross-body press. Moves that the students will risk everything to learn. People attend a professional wrestling event every year.
I like the sex and violence.
On the new generation, I would say. So I guess maybe the glitz and glamour.
Like the athletic content and like seeing two workers just go out there and have a good match, you know? It's probably like the best pure form of like sports you could ever find.
I like to watch the hot guys.
They cheer the heroes.
And being the unbelievable talent that I am, I'm going to wipe the mat with them now in a six-man tag and give my buddies here a chance to get in on the glory.
They taunt the villains. Even more people watch wrestling on television. World Wrestling Entertainment broadcasts over 9 hours of pro wrestling a week in the United States. They gross over $370 million annually. Five-time WWF World Heavyweight Champion Bret the Hitman Hart knows the flips, throws, and holds of professional wrestling. He knows how dangerous and deadly the sport can be. Bret is a wrestling superstar. Every wrestling student wants to be a superstar, no matter what the risk. Otis Stolen, 6 foot, 27 years old. Welder by profession, wrestler by desire. Otis has been training for a year and a half.
As you can see, I'm not a very big dude. Not in that great shape.
What Otis lacks in size, he makes up for in skill. There's nothing he can't do inside the ring. He's fearless. Nothing slows him down. Even the strains and bruises of wrestling class don't faze him.
I try yelling at him, throwing Dijon mustard on him.
Rosanna Tassoni, 5'4", 27 years old. Personal trainer, taekwondo expert, beauty pageant winner, model. She's had a taste of fame and glamour. Now she wants to exploit her skills all the way to the WWE.
And like all the flips. Yeah, I get pretty bored just staying on the ground and doing a simple moves like that.
Nick Bote, 5'10", 24 years old. Nick is in teacher's college, but would rather wrestle. He already has a wrestling persona, Asylum.
Get that camera out of my face before I smash it over your head. Is that okay?
James Rogers, 6'5", 24 years old. Doorman at a hot nightclub. Personal trainer and actor.
If I had a choice between acting and wrestling, but I believe actors get paid more, so no, I'd still like to be a wrestler.
Rob Fuego, 5'8", 35 years old. Registered massage therapist, professional wrestling instructor. Rob has performed in Mexico, in Japan, and in the WWE. Now he runs Squared Circle Training in Toronto. Here he teaches Otis, Rosanna, Nick, and Big James the flips, throws, and holds that a professional wrestler uses, including arm bolts, monkey flips, and crossbody presses. But how important is physical skill in a wrestling match? Are the wrestlers actors or athletes? Is it sport or well-rehearsed fakery?
Is wrestling real?
We hit each other. We fall. We hit the ground. We hit the ring. We hit the corners. We hit the ropes. And it's pretty real to me.
You know, obviously, like a lot of the characters are over the top. You know, that guy's not really the angel, you know, of Satan and death. He's just, you know, Bob from the corner. And like a lot of the moves are choreographed. But the things that are real, I don't think a lot of people watching wrestling realize. Gravity is very real.
I mean, the truth of it is that very little of it's fake. Maybe it might perhaps be orchestrated or predetermined, but there's nothing fake about somebody picking you up and dropping you on your, slamming you like a pancake.
Anybody who thinks that wrestling is even a little bit fake, they can just step in the ring. Give me 5 minutes with them, and they'll change their mind like that after they recover.
Professional wrestling isn't fakery. It's gymnastics with attitude. Wrestling students must learn and practice the many holds, throws, and flips that are performed in the ring. If they make a mistake, they can become seriously injured. They can even die. They need the agility and strength of a gymnast. The ability to execute elaborate tricks.
Yeah, you gotta take yourself. You gotta do that.
The ability to land and twist without getting hurt. To perform exhausting routines without tiring. These are all necessary skills for a wrestler, and they are all taught at Squared Circle Training. Rob Fuego is the owner and instructor.
This is my gym. I started up about, I think 2 years ago now. And we wrestle here. We recommend that, you know, they bring us a doctor's note with, you know, a clean bill of health, because it's very physical. There's not much you can do outside these walls, like to condition yourself for the in-ring stuff is something that we actually do in the class, like the running around helps, running in and out of the rings, the jumping up and down, that's the best conditioning. You can't really do this at a regular gym.
Reach for that, reach for that. Good. Hit him. Let's go. Keep moving, you gotta move under there, you gotta move.
When they first come in here, they think they're in pretty good shape, but they usually don't last like more than half a class before they have to, you know, go throw up outside.
Any shoulder you can find, he only has 2 of them. Relax. You got to guide her over, okay? I know. Go. I wasn't as prepared as I thought I would be when I started. There is just straight cardio's got nothing on being in the ring, so it's a totally different game. I mean, just this year, getting up, getting knocked down and getting back up again over and over. Keep going. Keep moving. Arch your head back.
They don't see it at first, right? They wonder why we're doing all this stuff. Well, they figure it out later when they know they can see they can jump higher and move faster and be quicker. I still got you. All right? Never, where are you? Never loose. Always have it locked. Not like this. Like this. Locked.
Rob teaches the holds and throws that are common in the WWE, as well as the acrobatics of Mexican La Lucha wrestling.
Grab the head, snatch it, go to him.
The students will need these skills if they're going to be professional wrestlers.
Fine, if you control it. That's a judo throw.
If you're like 8 feet tall and you're ripped, you know, jacked up, like 600 pounds, you're going to do well in wrestling because you won't have to do as much. If you're 5 feet tall and you weigh 75 pounds, you're going to have to really work your ass off and do all sorts of crazy things just to get noticed. So basically, the bigger you are, the better off you are.
Being small doesn't stop a lot of people from wrestling. Rob Fruego is 5'8". He's been wrestling for over 12 years.
Because I was smaller than the rest of the wrestlers, I had to focus more on my speed and agility.
He is El Fuego!
My style was to run around and jump around a lot. And my influences were Mexican, Japanese style wrestling, which uses a lot of that technique. So I say we do focus a lot on tumbling and flips and whatnot here, but we also do the basic wrestling as well. We start from the stand-up position. We start with just your basic lockups and holds, counter holds. Once we get a good idea of that, we move on into the in-ring stuff, where it could be anywhere from hitting the ropes to taking the bumps to doing the moves that require you to flip and throw people around.
All of the students have been involved in other sports. Many, like Otis, played football.
Contrary to what people might think, the wrestlers are usually pretty good athletes that have come from another profession. A lot of football players, a lot of weightlifters, a lot of amateur wrestlers like Kurt Angle.
Wrestling isn't a competitive sport like, say, football or hockey is.
Hockey players, when they play in these hockey games, they skate, and I know they skate, well, obviously they skate really hard, but most players don't play more than 20 minutes a game. And I used to think when I was wrestling 20 to 25 minutes a night, pretty much full blast from the time I got in to the time I got out.
One of the big differences between wrestling and hockey is the danger. Every move the wrestler makes can result in serious injury. As shown here, a simple monkey flip can be deadly. If James the wrestler does not tuck, that is, bend his head forward, he will land on the top of his head. This will cause his neck or cervical spine to be pushed towards his skull. The neck will not crunch downwards like an imploded building, but will fracture or break, most commonly at the 5th or 6th vertebral level. It will shift either backwards or towards one side, taking the spinal cord with it. The resulting damage to the cord may cause severe paralysis, possibly making James a quadriplegic for life.
Good. People were telling me that I almost broke my neck. I actually don't remember it happening. It's part of the business.
Every throw and flip taught at a professional wrestling school could end in broken bones or even death. But that doesn't matter to the students. They are all willing to take the risk of possible life-altering injuries to become superstars. Steve Svetkovich, 25 years old, is a writer. He first came to Squared Circle training in Toronto just to have a look. Now he runs the administrative end of the business. And of course, he wrestles.
When I actually only stepped in the ring for the first time, maybe like a year and a half ago. Ugh, it was brutal. I wanted to cry and go home and never, ever come back in the ring ever again. But after my first month, I had just a great day, and I thought, this is it. I'm doing this forever. This is fantastic.
Fantastic, but painful. Athletes in any sport risk injury, but wrestling is high impact, and injuries are common.
I've cracked my nose, and I've broken a finger, and my shoulders are kind of messed up right now, but I'm not sure what's technically wrong with them. Actually, I have a shin splint right now. It's my first. I'm pretty excited about that. It's basically from my knee to my ankle, just a sharp vibrating pain.
Since I started training, I've broken a handful of ribs. I got a handful of concussions. I've popped every finger out in my hands at least twice. I've broken toes. I've gotten cut open from guys just chopping me in the chest. I had my jaw knocked off.
Broken my foot, broken toes, sprained a lot of muscles, tore a lot of muscles, like my bicep, dislocated my thumb, chipped a whole bunch of teeth, a couple of concussions here and there, but it's just part of the game.
No one knows more about that game than Bret Hart. He retired from wrestling when a badly executed kick to the head resulted in a major concussion.
Wrestling's not about getting injured. If you're coming back every night and going, geez, you know, look at this, you know, he's got a split lip or his eyes busted open, or you're doing it wrong. You're doing it all wrong if you're getting hurt all the time. Wrestling is a science, or if you can call it a science, or look at the skill involved. It's the skill to do everything but hurt.
One of the most common moves is the clothesline. Two wrestlers run at each other. One puts his arm out, smacking his opponent across the chest. The hit wrestler goes down as if tripped by a clothesline. It seems like an easy move, but it can result in serious injury.
There is a way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. The right way to do it is to come with a lot of momentum, and basically you hit somebody very flat across the chest to give him the momentum to knock him back.
That underneath here? Right here. Use his hand. Come. Follow through. Up.
I know a lot of guys who come with a clothesline really high and bust somebody in the face or break somebody's nose.
A broken nose is a minor clothesline injury. Done correctly, the attacking wrestler uses his whole arm, distributing the hit through the entire limb and decreasing his chances of hurting one part of his arm. He should smack his opponent across the top of the chest. The upper rib cage and chest muscles absorb the blow and prevent injury to the heart, lungs, trachea, or major blood vessels. If the attacking wrestler hits too low, he is likely to knock the air out of his opponent. If he hits hard enough, he could break his opponent's ribs and damage the liver, stomach, or other organs which rest under these ribs. If he hits too high, he could damage the trachea or even break his opponent's Adam's apple, which could cause permanent voice damage. If he hits hard enough, he could tear his opponent's major large arteries and veins. This could be fatal. Even with a threat of permanent injury hanging over the wrestlers, they all do clotheslines. It's just part of the show. But are the actual moves what really matter in a wrestling show?
Well, there are a lot of guys out there, you know, big famous stars who, like, they couldn't wrestle their way out of a wet paper bag, but the crowd loves them. They are fantastic entertainers. A lot of guys have made, you know, entire careers out of just timing and personality and charisma, and those are attributes of an entertaining wrestler, but they don't make a wrestler. They make a good T-shirt.
Introducing first, team number 1, the legendary Joe E. Legend.
Bret Hart believes there are 3 categories of wrestlers.
Look is one thing. That's that immediate instant you see somebody. Look. I remember my dad would meet somebody, a football player or somebody, and he'd look at him and go, that guy's perfect for wrestling. He's got the right look. You're born with that kind of thing. You have this great look. The other category is the promo or the hype or being able to sell yourself on a wrestling program. There's a real art to that.
You don't mouth off at me, or I'll come and slap what's left of that hair off your head.
Then there's the third category, which to me is the most important category, and that's your basic average, just your wrestling ability. And a lot of that has to do with whether you can fight for real. Skill is a whole factor, like and the ability to actually wrestle. Like Hulk Hogan, he was 10 out of 10 on a look, 10 out of 10 on his promo, but actual wrestling skill, he was probably a 1.5, you know. And I don't think if you put all the money on the world, I don't think he could put a wrestler in a Boston Crab because he doesn't know how to even put one on.
The object of a wrestling match is to take down your opponent and pin him to the mat for a count of 3. But professional wrestling is not an everyday activity like laundry. It's more than just clotheslines and pins. It's a fight with a story. There are characters, plots, and drama. It's soap opera for guys. And like all good soap operas, there is the good guy and the bad guy, the babyface and the heel.
Well, the good guys are usually traditionally like the younger guys, the better-looking guys, right? The better-in-shape guys, right? And they're usually more of a technical wrestler. They don't resort to like punching or raking eyes or chairs or something like that. They're usually pretty clean wrestlers. I started off early in my career as a good guy, because being smaller. But as I got a little more experience and a little bit bigger, I started drifting towards the bad side.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, as a result of a disqualification, the team of Cobra Kai and Otis Idol.
I mostly play good guy just because, I don't know, smaller guy, good looking.
I think I get more fun as a bad guy, I think. Just because you can, tell people to shut up and yell at people and stuff like that and get away with stuff. It's a lot, I think it's a lot, and it's not easier to be a bad guy, but it's a lot easier to get a reaction out of the crowd as a bad guy. Usually the bad guy is usually the more experienced person in the ring. It's easier to control a match when you're the bad guy.
The bad guy will attack at any time. Traditional wrestling rules don't matter to him. The heel doesn't care about the bell. He'll attack in the ring, on the apron, outside the ring. He'll use props. He'll taunt the referee, the other wrestlers. And of course, he'll taunt the crowd. Anything to get a reaction.
I like being a bad guy. I don't know, there's something about it that can make people hate you. That's kind of cool, I guess.
Newcomer James Rogers isn't always happy with his role, but likes the crowd's reaction.
I've been casted in the bad role. I was blessed with size and the long hair, and it just seems to go that way. And the promoters just seem to say I'm the heel. So, heel, it's not easy to work, but it's easier, I think, to work. I do like people cheering for me, so it goes against my personal nature to have people booing me. But it works out. I get the boos, so I'm sticking with that.
It's not just men who risk life-threatening injuries in professional wrestling. Women, too, dream of making it in the big time. Women sometimes fight for more than a wrestling title. They fight for respect. There are 4 women learning professional wrestling techniques at Square Circle Training. Rosanna Tassoni is one. Chantel Malowski is another.
Women are perceived in a lot of different ways in wrestling. You're either really, really tough, or they classify you as butch, or they think you're on the other side of the spectrum, and they think you're just in it to be eye candy.
There's always like good female wrestlers who could go out there and like have a good match. It's just I wish it was more exploited.
I couldn't say I'm a huge fan of girls wrestling.
I thought the girls were very, very athletic for girls.
I thought that they wouldn't wrestle, they would just stick around, but they actually did.
Kick it.
And here, all the female students that Rob has, they've been able to, they like try super hard, they put in an amazing amount of effort, and they're actually able to work more like guys than I've ever seen before. And that is a compliment to say that they can work like guys. They can run competent spots with each other, they can put together decent matches with each other, and they progress, and every day they get a bit better. As opposed to most women are just like, oh, I can, do my little thing, and now I'm just gonna ride on my laurels forever. These girls, they want to improve, they want to work hard, and they're gonna do well.
Many female WWE performers started as models, and Rosanna is eager to flex her muscles for the camera. For a recent beauty salon feature, she dyed her hair blonde. She also posed for American Curves magazine.
Rosanna actually came to us about a little over 6 months ago, and as soon as she walked in, the thing I noticed most about her, and the thing that sort of draws me more to certain models, are their eyes and sort of her features on her face, cheekbones and stuff like that. Obviously body, and she seemed to have all of those components. We're probably going to do a 8 to 10 page layout on her.
I think because I've done modeling for so many years, I started when I was 12, that it's just nothing new, so there's not that thrill and excitement.
Another Rico model went on to star in the WWE, Trish Stratus.
A lot of the same qualities that I saw in Trish, I see in Rosanna.
Does Rosanna have what it takes to make it to the top? Her trainer, Rob Fuego, knows what's needed. One area she and all the women must work on is their upper body strength.
I try and tell the girls, too, to emphasize on their upper body, because they have to pick up each other, too. And if they can't do it, then the person that's in the air will be unsafe.
Yeah, I know.
Upper body strength is very important in moves such as the arm vault. Done correctly, one wrestler leans on the corner turnbuckle. The other wrestler runs at him, ready to attack. Instead of smashing the posted wrestler, the attacker is lifted and tossed out of the ring. It looks as easy as brushing aside a cobweb. In reality, it's a demonstration of leverage and upper body strength. It's physics and physique. The attacking wrestler isn't actually repelled. He repels himself with a lot of help from his opponent. The posted wrestler, in this case Otis, bends forward. This allows the attacker, Champagne, to grab the ropes behind Otis. It also places Otis's shoulder under Champagne's hips. Using the ropes and Otis for leverage and balance, Champagne bolts out of the ring. Otis assists him by standing up, giving Champagne's hips that extra push. Done correctly, Champagne soars over the top rope and lands on the apron ring. Done incorrectly, the wrestler can injure various parts of the body. Tiana and Chantel lack the upper body strength of Otis and Champagne. Tiana bends forward for Chantel to reach over her. However, Chantel has not placed herself across Tiana's shoulder. When Chantel vaults, Tiana's shoulder doesn't help her clear the ropes, but instead pushes her through the ropes. If Chantel used more upper body strength, she could have vaulted over the top rope. If Tiana used more upper body strength, she could have pushed Chantel further up. Instead, Chantel ended up tangled in the ropes. She could have sprained an ankle on landing or fallen out of the ring onto the hard concrete. If she was seriously tangled in the ropes, she could even be strangled.
Your stomach has to go on my shoulder, or else you're never going to get over. All right? Put your weight on her and throw her.
The girls were finally successful as they used leverage to complete the vault. With greater upper body strength, the move would be even easier.
Handstand. Back. Push. Both arms, Sharon. Both arms.
Upper body strength is very important. It's something I try and drive home to everybody. And only because a lot of the movements and a lot of the moves are upper body base. Like when you have to hold someone over your head, you definitely have to have like shoulder, arm strength. It's not so much lifting other people's weight, it's lifting your own weight. Some people can't jump over the top rope, but they can bench press 300 pounds for some reason. So I don't understand, right, how that is. Like, people think just because they lift heavy in the gym, that means they'll be fine in here, but they can't do more than 5 push-ups or do a chin-up.
There's a difference from being able to just, your muscles looking toned and fit compared to being able to do exercises and having the strength. It's a little bit different. This is more, like with the weights, it's a one plane movement, whereas with something like this, you're gonna need different planes. So the muscles have to be strong all over.
Acquiring upper body strength can be as hard for guys as it is for the girls. Even a wrestler as strong and big as James Rogers must work at it.
Well, the first 10 were easy. The second 10 were a little harder, and the third 10 was the hardest. Because you get right up on your shoulders, and you got to push your own weight.
Big James trained for 2 years at a wrestling club where he played the traditional big man role. He tossed the other students around the ring. Now he wants to learn more. That's why he's come to Squared Circle.
Left to left.
I like to step out of the big man mold. Maybe try and show a little bit of versatility. Try and raise the bar for the rest of the big men out there.
Big men don't usually do much flipping or leaping in professional wrestling. They don't have to. They have a presence just standing there, looking threatening. It's the little guys who usually leap and flip. It's the way they get noticed. It's also easier for them to do.
Big James has got a crazy look going on for him. He's probably one of the biggest guys who's ever even stepped into this place. And it's interesting to have someone that big in here just because, you know, we make him do all the stuff we make the little guys do too. But he's got a great attitude. I don't really know. So far, physically, he's like really impressed a lot of us with the moves that he can do. He can jump really high for a big guy. Most big guys, they get like an inch off the ground. This guy goes right up in the air.
In addition to wrestling, James works out in his home gym. Over the years, he's acquired dumbbells, weights, and benches, the equipment a bodybuilder needs. Here he also trains others, including bodyguards for singers such as Nelly Furtado.
I think that's 7. I do mostly weights. I do moderate cardio, but like my body type likes to be skinny. I'd rather be skinnier than heavier. So if I do too much cardio, I tend to look like a basketball player. But I have to do enough as where I can get into shape and have the wind that I need.
James played basketball in college, but a car accident ended his career. For almost a year, he had trouble standing. With intensive therapy and training, he redeveloped his back muscles. Even with all his conditioning, Big James knows he's just one of thousands who want to make it big in wrestling. He needs a special skill or gimmick to make it in the WWE. Rob Fuego teaches the flips, holds, and throws of professional wrestling at Squared Circle Training in Toronto. His students find the classes exciting and exhilarating, but Rob knows how dangerous it really is.
When you're in the ring and you're wrestling with someone and you're picking them up and throwing them down, you know, it's your responsibility to make sure this person doesn't come down their head and end up quadriplegic, you know?
Rob takes extra care when teaching new moves. Rosanna Tassoni loves the high-flying moves, but gets nervous when she first learns them. She's developed a habit of saying whoa instead of go. This is a very dangerous habit.
What'd I say about whoa? What? Don't say whoa or stop halfway through, because it freaks me out too. And then you let go. You have to cover up. Let's go again. Get what you got. Sure.
Sometimes I'll be a little bit more cautious than others, and for sure, I mean, that was my first time doing it off of there, so always on the first one, I tend to be a little bit more cautious anyways, right? I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Rosanna isn't the only student having problems with the flips. Nick Bodie is a big guy and isn't used to flying through the air.
There's a lot of stuff for a big guy like me that is really difficult to get a feel for, flipping around and rolling. I'm usually the one throwing the people around. Now I find myself doing a lot of the flipping myself, which is a big change, but it's good to know, even if I may not use it, it's good to know that I can still do it and pull it out in a match whenever I have to.
Squared Circle has been hired to do a live show. All the students want to perform.
Favorite part of wrestling is doing shows. I wish I could do more shows. I have so much fun just being in front of people and doing what we do. It's just so much fun. I can't even explain it. It's like the funnest thing ever. I've only done like maybe 6 or 7 shows. They've been like more lower profile shows, nothing really major, just something to, you know, cut my teeth on.
Otis is having no difficulty doing any of the moves and will probably be in the live show.
I think about wrestling, I watch wrestling, wish I was wrestling. I'm a welder. It's 9 to 5 work and I hate it. And I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to wrestle.
There are still moves to learn and practice before the big show. One of them is a common wrestling flip, the sunset flip. Once again, leverage is a key element in the move. Big James twists around, grabbing Champagne's hips and legs as he pushes off the ground. Then Big James falls backwards, pulling Champagne with him. Of course, Champagne doesn't just stand there. He falls with Big James, and he keeps his legs open. This not only stops him from kicking Big James, but provides a protective frame for James's head. Done correctly at the end, the bottom wrestler's legs are resting on the top wrestler's shoulders. Done incorrectly, it could result in back, neck, or head injuries. If the attacking wrestler does not grab his opponent's hips, he could pull him down on an angle and pull muscles in his opponent's legs or groin. If the pulled wrestler doesn't keep his legs apart, he could kick his opponent in the face and head, possibly causing a concussion.
From the top, let's go.
None of these injuries is life-threatening and will probably not cause permanent damage to either wrestler. However, a severe concussion can lead to a permanent brain injury and can end a wrestling career. It ended Bret Hart's career. Bret was kicked in the head during a WCW bout. He continued to wrestle for several days afterwards, even though he had a severe concussion.
I was told that day by my doctor when he diagnosed me with a concussion that if I kept going in wrestling, there was a good chance I'd end up like Muhammad Ali, and that I would be punchy, like a punch-drunk boxer.
Despite the real danger of serious head injuries, the students at Squared Circle Training have no fear.
When I first started doing the sunset flip, I didn't really know what to expect. I've seen people do it before, but I've never had a chance to do it. Today was my first time doing it. I was excited. I pulled it off the first few times and it felt good.
It's all leverage. All the moves are about leverage and you know, using your opponent against themselves, right? So that's why we focus a lot on beating around and stuff like that, because these moves, even though we're working together, all of them have a certain amount of like credibility to them. All of them are or were shoot moves.
Shoot wrestling is real fighting. The term comes from the old cowboy movies, where the gunslinger shoots from the hip. The object of shoot wrestling is to hurt your opponent.
And back in the 40s, when it was still more related to shooters and stuff, you get these old shooters would get a young guy like my dad in the ring, and it was intentional. They'd put you in a headlock, and they'd pop you right on the side of the ear and bust your ear open and give you a big cauliflower ear. It was a sort of initiation in the wrestling business.
Today, the intention is not to get hurt. Just like gymnastics or figure skating, every move is carefully taught and practiced. An injured wrestler is an athlete who can't perform.
With no unions and no benefits, wrestlers couldn't afford to hurt each other. If I was a young guy getting into wrestling and I was wrestling one of the more important wrestlers on a card, and whether it was an accident or not, if I dropped him accidentally or misplaced him in the ring or drop kicked him too hard and knocked his teeth out or broke his shoulder, and these kind of things do happen. I mean, I would be undermining everybody else in the dressing room.
But what happens when there is an accident at a wrestling school? Do injuries change the students' attitude towards the sport?
Just a little blood, no need to cry about it.
It's 3 months before Squared Circle Training performs a live show. The students are practicing their wrestling moves and learning new ones. Most of the moves are similar to gymnastic tricks, but some moves are dangerous and painful, no matter what you do. The body slam is such a move. Retired championship wrestler Bret Hart knows.
A basic body slam is one of the most painful things you can have done in wrestling. And if you don't believe me, let your neighbor do it to you. I mean, it's a very, just your basic body slam it's a very physical move. There's nothing fake about it. You can't fake a body slam.
A body slam is just what it's called. Two bodies slamming into each other. There are, of course, variations of the body slam. One variation is the cross-body press. One wrestler climbs onto the turnbuckle and leaps onto the other wrestler. The two bodies should hit across the chest perpendicularly. This way, the weight of the dropping body is distributed over the maximum area of the hit body, thus lessening the hitting force and reducing the possibility of injury. The wrestler receiving the press does not stand still and get hit. Like an outfielder in baseball, moving with the incoming ball, the wrestler is actually catching his falling opponent. This, too, reduces the likelihood of injury, as the catching wrestler is not an immovable object waiting to be hit by an irresistible force. And like all the moves, a slight miscalculation can result in injury.
I don't want anything to go wrong here. Get her deep on the vault. Pull her hair, pull her hair. Get up there. Follow her in a little closer.
This accident was caused by a series of mistakes. Chantel's leap is twisted. She's supposed to fall perpendicularly across Tiana, but she is falling too far forward. She realized it. Instead of trying to adjust her position in midair, she put her hands out to break her fall.
I stupidly put my hand out and my wrist went down on the mat like that, and I felt my palm touch my forearm, and I didn't hear anything crack or anything, but it's all inflamed and I can't move my fingers.
Seeing that Chantel was leaping incorrectly, Tiana hesitated. Instead of adjusting to catch her, Tiana stood still. Only at the very last instant does Tiana start to move. Chantel's knee kicks her as Tiana's head strikes the mat.
I guess she had overshot, and I went down and I snapped my head back because her pelvis was in my face, and I blacked out for a split second, and when I came to, I just kind of didn't know where I was, and I hurt my head right up at the top, and the bottom of my neck is a bit stiff.
While the girls were recovering from their injuries, Otis was still wrestling in the other ring. Despite witnessing the accident, Otis and James Champagne decided to do a variation of the crossbody press.
I'm the shit. No, it's my fault. It's my fault. I had my hand like this on the ground. I didn't catch him properly, and my wrist heard some cracking and popping. It's probably just sprained.
We're going to the hospital.
Chantel was lucky. She just bruised her thumb. Tiana suffered a mild concussion and felt headachy and nauseous for a couple of days. Otis dislocated a bone in his hand. He had surgery and was put in a cast. Despite these injuries, the other students keep wrestling. Tiana was back in the ring within a week. Chantel could not wrestle for at least 6 weeks, and Otis didn't wait for his cast to be removed. It all looks like shock and schlock. But wrestlers are serious athletic entertainers. They are gymnasts with attitude, masters of balance and leverage in a very strenuous form of physics. They know it's dangerous, possibly deadly, but nothing keeps them from their passion.
and gentlemen, let's get ready to wrestle!
How do you get to here? From here, it takes strength, stamina, and superb gymnastic skills.